guys hungry? Well, if you want to eat now, you probably should have thought about that months ago. If you grow your own food anyway. If you don't, and you have a real emunah, real faith and trust in God, you just do what you're supposed to do, and then God will feed you every day. But we're not quite there yet. So we planted these carrots about the 1st of August, first week of August. I always forget to stagger the planting. The only reason I staggered these about 10 days apart was I just didn't have the energy to plant full rows all at once. But I use these chunks of wire cage to keep the squirrels out of them. Because the squirrels, as soon as the weather starts to turn towards the end of the summer, like the first stretch of cool weather, the squirrels go absolutely nuts. That's not too bad right there, but they go crazy and they dig holes anywhere. I pulled this section off here because these were getting big and I didn't want everything to get too tangled up, so I gotta pull these off pretty soon. But once the carrots get decent size, generally the squirrels won't damage them too much, and plus they seem to kind of calm down once the fall weather kind of sets in and it's like cold and rainy like it is now. These got thoroughly soaked. This rained like 1.5 inches or more the last week. But yeah, gotta figure out some kind of way to I mean, these don't work perfectly. You can see the squirrel finds ways to dig in there, but they work well enough to keep everything growing. And the weeds are now mostly manageable, as long as God gives us the strength to get out here every so often. And go through things. Sometimes it can get really frustrating. You try so hard and do so much work. At least that's the way it seems. And as soon as it rains again, just more weeds pop up. That's to teach us arrogant, foolish humans that our work is never done. Never, ever, not until we leave this world. There's always some horribly flawed character trait that just won't stop flaring its ugly head. No matter how many times it gets beat down into the dirt. So we have to just keep at it and not let the Yetzirah, not let our evil inclination convince us that it's hopeless and to give up. God forbid. Never ever give up. Just gotta beg God for help. And please have mercy on us all and show us the truth. These are the parsnips. I pulled most of the beets because they were starting to look pretty pretty not the best. That's funny. This this bed was wild up until last year. It had a bunch of oregano and there's the oregano that grows out of the side, and the parsley. Wild parsley and oregano basically it went to seed in here, and that's one of the parsleys that sprouted. Let me just leave a couple for something in there over the winter. But first few parsnips that I pulled up, the bottom like 2 or 3 inches of the root was really kind of shriveled. So I imagine that because these are raised beds and it was the end of the summer, excuse me, that they were that the dirt down in the beds was pretty dry. So I watered them really good, and then it rained like a whole bunch. So there's plenty of water in here now. But now the problem is the soil probably too damp to leave them in for too long. Once it gets parsnips grow crazy. They have just a like mass. Like here's this plant. It grows all the way out over there, like 2 feet, and that's just in one direction. Parsnips have a lot of vegetative growth, so you got to plant them. I planted 3 rows in this 4x8 bed, and that's pushing it. Ideally, you probably want like 18 to 24 inches between rows. But parsnips will store in the ground really well if it's not too moist. Like if it's just damp enough, like down in the dirt, and if it's cool. Like if it doesn't get too warm during the day, they'll store in the ground pretty much all winter long. But here it gets so wet that the leaves that lay on top of each other start to rot. And I think last year I pulled up the last ones about the first or second week of December, but I planted those about a month after I planted these, like time frame wise. These I planted the first week of July. I think the best time for here is probably somewhere in between July and August 1st. But you just gotta experiment and figure out what works well. Dig around in the dirt and try to see what you can find in here besides weeds. And food's good to eat, but especially when it tastes good, you can really appreciate it and not be a thief by thanking God for what He gives us. Hopefully you guys are doing well. I'm not sure if this will get uploaded before Halloween, but just on the off chance that anyone watches it, I need to know that Halloween, like every other Goyish holiday for non-Jews, is pretty much 100% idol worship. Idol worship. So if you don't want to really make God not like what you do, stay as far away from all of it as you possibly can. For most people, that's probably going to mean that they have to distance themselves from people they call their friends or their family, unless God has mercy on them and helps them to see the truth too. But we'll have to make hard decisions in life. It smells like chocolate chip cookies right now. I'll talk to you guys later. Don't burn your money. Use it to help people do teshuva.